Water transportation. Water transportation is the intentional movement of water over large distances. Historically, water was transported by hand in dry countries by traditional waters such as Sakas of Arabia and Bishti of India. It has played a very significant role in bringing different parts of the world closer. We all know that water transportation play an important role in our life, not just in life but also in the industry. We use water transportation to bring different countries closer. We transport products or goods to different countries to strengthen our industry. Tourism needs the use of water transportation. Water transport is essential to the proper functioning of tourism in many areas, whether it is utilized to convey product or passenger. Tourism needs the use of water transportation. Siyempre, in order to travel or visit different places, we need to use water transportation. With the help of water transportation, we can function effectively and can communicate in different areas. So now, let's proceed to the history. The history of transportation on water goes back thousands of years. Waterways are critically important to the transportation of people and goods throughout the world. The complex network of connection between coastal ports, island ports, rail, air and truck routes form a foundation of material economic wealth worldwide. So waterways are important in that transportation of people and goods. In that way kasi, they can send their goods and product to other country. It allows the ease of transportation to ship goods and people to all parts of the world. So before we come up to what transportation we have right now, there's a lot of evolution it takes. We started from a small bangka, then throughout the years, water transportation had improved. Evolution of water transportation timeline. Many thousands of years ago, a raft made by tying several logs together with creepers was the first kind of water transport that a person could steal. So, thousands of years ago daw, yung first water transportation na ginagamit is yung kahoy na magkakatabi din nakatali. So, kung makakakita kayo nito is alam nyo na ang itsura niya. Mostly, makikita na lang natin ang ganitong klaseng water transportation kapag may naligaw sa mga island. A frame boat built like a basket and covered with animal skin was another very early boat. A coating of tar kept the boat watertight. Then, another kind of transportation is frame boat. This boat was built like a basket and covered with animal skin. To keep the boat watertight, they are using a coating of tar. 4000 BC. Boat builders in ancient Egypt used reeds to build what were probably the first sailing boat. So in 4000 BC, boat builders in ancient Egypt used reeds to build what were probably the first sailing boats. By 2500 BC, the Egyptians were building wooden boats that could sail across oceans. These ships had sails as well as up to 60 oarsmen who rowed the ship. The long boats were long and narrow, so were able to travel on the open sea as well as along rivers. 1000 AD Vikings longboats. So, before in order to travel in one place to another, Egyptians used a boat in order to travel. 1100 AD. Chinese junks were sailing boats with a rudder for steering the boat, buttons on the sail to give them greater strength, and watertight compartments long before Western ships had them. 1450 onwards. 3 and 4 sailing ships were in service for several centuries. 1800s. Fast sailing ships called clipper ships were built. They had long, slim hulls and tall masts. 1819. The first steamships to cross the Atlantic combined steam and wind power. 1819. The first steamships to cross the Atlantic combined steam and wind power. 1845. The first ocean-going liners made of iron and driven by a propeller were being built from this time. 1880s. Some steam-driven river boats had rear paddles and were called wheelers. Others had paddle wheels on either side. 1910. Coal-burning sailing ships were converted to diesel power using oil instead of steam. 1911. The hydroplane was invented in the United States. The Titanic was built in England. 1955. Hovercraft float over the waves on cushion of air are capable of high speed of up to 140 km/h. 1959. The NS Savannah, one of the first nuclear-powered cargo ships, was able to sail for 3.5 years without refueling. 1980s. Use of ferries of water taxis, hydrofoils ride on wings that lift the craft clear the water so that it rides on skis as it gains speeds. Container ships carry cargo in huge metal boxes, which are stacked on the deck. A modern cargo ship can carry up to 1,000 containers. Among the largest ships ever built, these supertankers are used to transport oil. 1990s. Cruise liners are ships that carry hundreds of people on floating holidays. Modern nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, battle cruisers, destroyers, and nuclear-powered submarines are all used to keep a country safe and to protect its territory. Importance of water transportation to tourism industry. In the last decade, tourism has grown in importance as a component of global tourist plans and leisure behavior. The significance of water transportation lies not only in the role it plays in the development of national socio-economic system, but also in the essential role it plays in the amplification of international interaction. The function of water transportation is the movement of commodities and people has a significant impact on other aspects of the global economy including international tourism. So, we all know that water transportation play a significant role in tourism industry. With the help of water transportation, we can have a connection in international interaction. Without water transportation, the travel and tourist businesses would perish and people would be unable to go to other destinations. As a result, water transportation growth is connected to tourist development as international tourism expands, so does international transportation. It is one of the most essential modes of transportation for moving things from one region of a country to another. It is a less expensive and faster means of transportation that is best suited for transporting heavy, bulky, and inexpensive cargo such as coal, iron, ore, and other similar commodities to remote locations. So, water transportation is one of the essential modes of transportation for moving things one region of country to another. Transportation is less expensive, faster means of transportation. It can transport heavy, bulky, and inexpensive cargo. Transport has a significant impact on other sectors of the global economy, particularly international tourism, due to its involvement in the movement of the commodities and people. The travel and tourism sectors would not exist without transportation, and people would not be able to go to other destinations. So, transportation is so significant that without it travel and tourism would not exist, and people will not be able to go to other destinations. It is so crucial that without it, other sectors of the global economy will not grow.